If I said 2 months ago you'd be in the Stanley Cup Final, you would have said what?
I would have said I agree. We played, so the way our season went, just to give you a quick snapshot of it, in my opinion, is that in October we came out of the gate and we struggled a little bit. We had some pretty significant changes over the summer, and I think we were getting the seats on the bus in order and putting, the roles changed. When you have young players, I'll give you, for instance, Ryan Johansson and Philip Forsberg, and when you come in and you're a first-year player, you're not necessarily expected to be on the front of the rope, and if you can have a great year and be a contributing factor, that's a good thing for your team. But when you're actually supposed to be on the front of the rope and pulling those wins and pulling the season in our direction and in our favor, I think that there's a little bit of a learning curve there inside of your team. Ryan Ellis really stepped up big this year. Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Matthias Ekholm. So these are the guys now that are, it wasn't about what happened last year or the year before or 3 years ago. This was the new crew. And we knew we had good people and we knew we had good leaders and good players. I think it just took a little bit through October, just working through that. In November, we were really good and played terrific hockey. Then we started I never use injuries as an excuse, but they happen. And we were just pushing through some injuries through, early December to mid-January. There was a point there, so you had mentioned 2 months prior. 2 months prior to the season, we really started to play good hockey. We were, at that point, I think we were maybe 500. We're a 500 team. We might have been sitting in the last wild card spot, maybe out of the playoffs for a couple days. And we started to get healthier and understand things a little bit better inside of our identity and the way we played and our competitiveness. We started to play a little bit better defense. And for the last 2 months of the season, we were pretty competitive. Even the games that we lost, there was a lot of times we said, we hate the result, but we like the way we played. And it might have been a 2-1 loss in Montreal. And so we did the right things. We felt like we had the game going our way and we didn't get the results. And we ended up winning a lot of games. At one point, we were 15 or 16 games over 500 from being 500. And then once we clinched, there were some guys that were banged up, and we just needed to rest those guys and make sure that we were ready to go for the playoffs.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.